Mm. All right, I will share my screen now. Just a second, guys. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, yes.
So I think this is our third session, right? So in this session, we will be talking about on the LangChains. Okay, we will talk about the basics of LangChain because these days in the industry, LangChain is widely accepted. So now I can see the different projects in which LangChain is heavily used, and the people are building applications using this framework. So I think we have already discussed what is LangChain. LangChain is a developer's framework which you can use to build your uh, AI applications, and specifically the applications which are based on large language model. So we discussed about, that these LLM applications or LLM service is nothing but, it's just one part of our web application. Okay, so today we will deep dive into the LangChain ecosystem. Okay, so earlier, so LangChain is again a startup, I think, which was started, somewhere in 2021 or 22, and initially they just rolled over their foundation APIs like their LangChain core API, LangChain community, and the LangChain APIs. Gradually, when they saw, they are getting accepted and people are creating applications using their framework, and there are more models. They need to support different vector databases. So they started expanding, and then eventually they also came up with something called as the let me take okay. So initially they started with the LangChain with the APIs like LangChain core, LangChain, and LangChain community. And then now they have something called as the LangGraph. So LangGraph is a platform where you can build agents. So we have dedicated sessions for the agents. So there we will talk about how we can use a LangChain in creating the agents. So we will be using the LangGraph. So LangGraph is that part of the architecture which is being used to create the agents. Third is the integrations, since they are creating the framework. So that framework basically needs to, integrate with the different vector databases, different data sources, different models as well. So they have created those integrations. Okay. So they have different components which help us to create an application by integrating the different providers and different vendor components and things like that. Okay, so that is a part of integration. Then there is something called as the LangGraph cloud. So if you have built your agents in the LangGraph, then they are also providing one LangGraph cloud platform where you can deploy your applications as well. See, they are actually expanding their offerings, right? So they want to, give more platforms and more facilities so that they can also earn more, right? So now they are also providing the cloud platform where you can basically deploy your LangGraph applications. And most importantly, so when you build your large language applications, okay, so the challenges you actually face is that it is very difficult to find out, what is going on behind the scenes, what is input of my one component, what is going as an output of of the first component or maybe second component, right? Because large language models itself are the black box. You never know what is going inside them. So it becomes even more important that you should know what is input and output of each component so that you can debug your issues. Okay, otherwise what will happen is if you are creating a chain or an application, you will just pass the input to that chain and you will just receive the output, but what is happening in between? So that's is the where the Langsmith came into the picture. So this is a platform which is being used for debugging the applications, playground, prompt management, annotation, testing, and monitoring. This will help you to debug your application to monitor the logs. So this we will see into detail in our next session. Okay, the advanced LangChain. Okay, so as we talked about initially, they started with just three packages: the LangChain core, and the LangChain community. So this LangChain package actually has some ready-to-use objects. For example, if you want to chat with an CSV file or you want to chat with the PDF, so they have created those classes and libraries which you can directly use. Okay, pre-built libraries. Okay, LangChain core is something which has components like LCell, LangChain expression language. So what is happening is when we are using LangChain to create our applications, we are using different components, and those components are stitched together in terms of chains. Okay, so this chaining of different components is actually done with the help of one expression language, which is called LCell. Okay, this we will see today as well. And then the LangChain community has those libraries which help us to to create integrations with the third parties. So all the third party integrations, the methods and the libraries are actually part of LangChain community. Okay, vector database, the parsers, the data connectors, everything. Other than that, since this OpenAI and this Groq API and the Groq, so these are very, big platforms. So for them, they have created some exclusive packages. Okay. For example, for OpenAI, they have something called as LangChain hyphen OpenAI. For Groq, they have LangChain hyphen Groq. Right. So they have some special packages for these integrations. Not all third party integrations are part of community. Rather, they have created some specific packages for larger libraries or for larger implementations. Okay. And then the LangServe and then the LangSmith we have already talked about. Okay. Any questions so far? Going good? Okay. So what I will do is I will take you to the app, their website. I hope you can still see my screen.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So I will take you to the LangChain documentation. So whenever you need any help, so or if you want to dig into or you want to see how a particular component works, what are its input parameters, the best way is to go to the document, the official documentation, right? Because if you go to YouTube, they have different versions. Like it started with point 1, point 2, and point 3. So you will see YouTube videos, couple of videos which are older, they are created in point 2, some were created in point 1. So what will happen is if you try to copy that particular code and you use, it will not work because the libraries has changed. Because what you will do is you will simply do pip install LangChain, but what it will do is it will install your latest library. So those things will not work. So what you need to do is you should always refer the official guide. Okay, so here you can see if you go into the introduction, so the same diagram which was there on the deck. So we have LangChain, we have LangGraph, integrations, and the LangSmith. And we have talked about the LangChain core. It is the base abstractions, LangChain, LCell, The LangChain has chains, agents, retrieval. So you can go through this documentation to solidify your knowledge. Okay. All the third party integrations are in the LangChain community. Okay. So yeah. So what I will do now is I will open the collab. I hope everybody is having collab these OpenAI keys by now. Ashish, you there? All right. This is session 3. So what we will do is we'll start with how we can install our LangChain. In order to use LangChain framework, the first thing we have to do is we have to install the LangChain library. So those who have not seen the YouTube videos can start doing these things right now if you want, or maybe you can follow later.
So the key you provided in WhatsApp, that's what we have to use today.
I mean, don't you have your own keys actually?
Okay, I have not added credit card,
Okay, okay, then
but I can
let
do that.
let me share my keys then. I deleted the keys which I shared yesterday.
Okay.
Are you guys enjoying these sessions? I mean, you're liking it, right? If you have any
Good question.
suggestions, any complaints, I mean, sometime when
No, yeah, feedback is required. Yes, I agree.
yes,
Nice,
feedback is
nice. I
required.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I agree. It's a good session, but it's a big, vast area to
right, right.
cover.
So this
So,
is one of the most important session actually. LangChain. So whenever you talk about building any applications, 90% of the time you must be using LangChain framework. So that is why I am emphasizing. So the foundation is done actually. The first two sessions were more on the foundations. Now we are actually, dealing with this Gen AI world, and these frameworks are actually very helpful in creating those applications. Okay, so be serious and try to follow along. Okay, so let me share these keys in the chat. If you have your own keys, please use them. If you don't, this is fine. Okay, so I have got my OpenAI key. I will go to collab. Now, first thing is I have installed LangChain. Now, in order to use OpenAI models,
uh,
what we need to do
feedback.
is, yeah,
There's a doubt. We it install LangChain website. So will it install the latest version or will it
it will
will it
install the latest version, right?
नहीं वो वर्जन कैसे check करना है क्वेश्चन.
See, if you want to install some other version, then what you need to do is you need to put, I think, equal to, and then your some other version. Okay. Otherwise, if you just use LangChain, it will install the latest version only.
And to check which version we have installed.
I think once you install this one, if you see the history, it will, I think, tell you. There may be some other commands as well. LangChain. This is all it is actually installing, right? But there should be some command to check.
1.2
LangChain
point four
core,
has had.
point 4, LangChain. LangChain core, point 4.
Installed there.
Okay, so I think this is the latest, right? So this is point 4, although the documentation is still on point 3. I think they may have some upgrades. Okay, so after installing the LangChain, what we need to do is, since we are going to use our OpenAI, so I need to install the dedicated package for that, right? Because those are not part of LangChain community. So I need to install LangChain OpenAI. I will also install LangChain Groq. Okay. So if I want to make it quiet, and I can put Q so that it will not show me those long outputs. It will be quite okay. I have done LangChain and OpenAI and Groq. So now what next I need to do is I need to import the operating OS library, and I also need to import getPass. Okay. So once I do that, okay, this is done. What I need to do is I need to set my keys. So I will do os.environ, put square bracket, put my key name. This is already suggesting me, which is right. I will just remove this thing. So os.environ OpenAI API key getPass.getPass. So this will do what? It will prompt me for the OpenAI key, because I don't want to. I mean, right now I have shared, but if I don't want to share, what I can do is I can simply use this command. There are various methods actually. You can just do double quotes and put your key. If you want, you can also set here in the keys. There is some called secrets. There also you can put your keys and then you can import. Okay. So I have set my I have set environment variable. Now I will be setting the Groq one. Groq. If I don't know what is the exact name of the key, I will go to Groq documentation. I will go to quick start. There I will see the name of the variable is Groq API key. So I can put Groq API key, put equal getPass.getPass. Okay, this is done. Now I need Groq key. So I will go to API key. I will create a new key, session 3 key, submit. It will create a key, copy the key, and I will provide the key. Okay. So far, so good, guys.
Yes, Surendra.
So I have set my keys. Now what I need to do is I need to from LangChain hyphen OpenAI import what? Import. This is not hyphen. This should be underscore OpenAI. Okay. The library names are actually hyphen, but the package names are like LangChain underscore OpenAI. What I need to do is I need to import OpenAI, but be aware that since we have moved from text-based API to the chat-based or message-based APIs, I need to use chat OpenAI, not the OpenAI. OpenAI is the older way. Similarly, for the Groq, what I need to do is I need to use chat Groq. Okay. I have imported my libraries. I'm repeating, be careful. You need to import chat OpenAI and chat Groq. Okay. You can also use OpenAI, but the newer models of the OpenAI, they are actually message based. So their APIs accept the input as messages. So if you use OpenAI, then you won't be able to use your latest models like GPT-4o, GPT-4o mini, right? It may work for GPT 3.5 Turbo, okay, because that was text-based APIs were there. ठीक है? ये वाला फंडा आपको clear है, right? This text-based and message-based APIs.
Can you repeat that?
You have like OpenAI. OpenAI is the provider of your uh, language models. Okay. So when they create and release their models, what they do is they also create some APIs so that you can use that API to access the model.
Okay.
Earlier, those APIs were basically text-based. Text-based in the sense you were actually passing the string, okay, double quotes के साथ. Whenever you are invoking your model, you are just passing the strings, okay. So that string will be taken by will be used by OpenAI APIs, and then it will be passed to the large language model, and the output will be passed. Now, what they have done is the APIs which OpenAI has is creating for their large language model are message based, meaning that if you want to invoke those APIs, you need to pass the messages. Okay, we will see
Oh,
today also how to pass those messages. So we have to use those, the list of messages. Okay. Now we are talking about the LangChain. LangChain is again one layer above our OpenAI. So this LangChain is having is also having these integration libraries, right? So they have created Chat OpenAI, which will accept your messages and it will pass it to the OpenAI messages based APIs. Okay. So we have large language model, then we have OpenAI APIs, and then now we are on top of it, we are having LangChain APIs. Okay. Okay, so we have used Chat OpenAI and Chat Grox. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to initialize my model. So my model is like model underscore OpenAI model. Okay, so what I will do is I will use maybe GPT-4o. Okay. Similarly, what I can do is I can create one, I can instantiate my Groq model. So this is Groq equal to chat Groq, and what I can pass is the model name. Okay. I can go back to my documentation of the Groq. So you need not to, remember all these commands. You can always go to the documentation to see the exact syntax. Sorry, we are talking about LangChain, right? So in the LangChain, I need to go to the integration. Okay, so integration means all the models which are being supported, LLM models which are being supported by LangChain. So I will go to chat models. So these are the different providers. I need to go to Groq. Where is Groq? See, if I go to Groq, it says pip install LangChain Groq, which I have already done. We have imported the key, the chat models. This is how you will be able to access the chat models. Okay. They have not shown the code. This is how you basically give the model name. Okay. So what I will do is model equals to which model I can choose. I can go to the models. Now I am on the Groq official website. These are the different models which are supported. I can choose, let's say I take Llama 370 billion. Okay. So I can copy the name of the model and I can paste it here. You can give other parameters also, but like temperature, maximum token, and all those things right here. So I have created these objects. Are you able to follow? Yes, no?
Yes, Surendra.
All right. So what I need to do is in order to invoke my uh, model, in order to inference, I will just use model underscore OpenAI dot invoke. Okay. So dot invoke means we are basically invoking our model. So I can put, for example, what is capital of India? Okay. If I run that, it will be able to give me the AI message. Okay. So now you will see there is some difference, right? I said that we are using Chat OpenAI and Chat Groq in order to send the messages as send the our prompts as messages. But here, what we are doing is we are again passing the string. So what this LangChain API is doing is it is basically taking this as a string, but then internally converting this into messages, which is acceptable by OpenAI APIs. Okay. And in the response, you can see you are actually getting the messaged. You are getting the AI message. Okay. So it says it has the content. The capital of India is New Delhi, and then you have some additional arguments, your response metadata, how many tokens, completion tokens 8, prompt tokens 12, total tokens 20. So this is again helpful to if you want to limit the uses of your application or APIs. Okay, good. Similarly, if you invoke your Groq model, you can do in the same way. Okay, here you go. Okay, is that fine? Everybody is able to do simple.
Surendra, एक मिनट थोड़ा ऊपर जाओ थोड़ा हाँ we can use GPT for so basically you have to get these two model names from this यहाँ पर model name नहीं है model block में सिर्फ model है
हाँ वो उनका I mean this is how this APIs are built actually.
हाँ okay
है ना?
okay ठीक है. So once I get run this models, then I will have to invoke them. So this second invoke is for OpenAI. First invoke is for OpenAI. Second invoke is for Groq.
Groq, correct.
ठीक
So
है.
we are
इसमें क्या
simultaneously we are actually trying
working
both
both. हाँ.
both the models. हाँ.
इसमें क्या important चीज है? Tokens is what we are looking at. What is it? The message.
Important यही है कि how you can actually inference these models right from code using LangChain. Okay, important. The other thing is you have the metadata. You can use this metadata in your application. From this, actually, by writing some statement, you can fetch the total number of tokens which have been used in this particular call. Okay, and then you can add those number of tokens, and maybe if you want to limit your users to overuse your application or token, right? So what you can do is you can put some limit. You can keep on adding, and once that number of tokens utilized exceeds your limit, your threshold, then you may stop your user to use your application, right?
Oh.
You can limit your cost basically.
हाँ.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
So this was the first concept. Okay, how to use chat models or how to utilize these LangChain to invoke your models. Okay, everyone is done. Now we will talk about what is messages. Okay, these are building blocks. Okay, so if you know what are how to build how to create these objects, then you will be able to create your application using messages in
Surendra, the last two scripts queries you can put put all this. Not this one, above one. Above one. Right. That is enough.
Surendra, can you copy and paste the above codes also, please?
okay. What I can do is I think I can save this as Python, download as Python. Done. I have pasted the entire code.
Okay, thanks.
Shall we proceed, or you want me to wait?
Can you go little up? Okay.
So what is getPass.getPass method?
So this is just one method which will basically invoke you, which will prompt you for the password. Okay. If you don't want
Okay,
to do it, you can simply actually paste your keys like that also.
okay, okay,
Okay.
okay.
This is just a way to, hide the password.
Okay.
My invoke is giving some error.
Mm-hmm.
वो बोल रहा है कि re-raising status error.
Sorry, what error?
Re-raising status.
Okay. So are you using the exact commands which I shared on
हाँ
chat?
same. और
दिखाओ एक बार.
instead of yeah, let me share. Just a minute.
Getting error for both OpenAI and Grok.
Groq I have not checked that. I'll check Groq as well. Let me run it and Groq is working, but OpenAI is not working.
Which keys you are using? I mean,
Hmm.
you are using my keys. Just
No. I'm using the mic.
try to replace with my keys.
एक मिनट I think OpenAI का error होगा. एक मिनट let me check. I think I will figure it out. मैं समझ गया. मैं थोड़ा शायद वो ठीक है शायद.
ठीक है चलो. Okay. चलें आगे बढ़े. So the next concept is actually messages. Okay. Again, I will go to OpenAI, LangChain documentation, and conceptual guide, and then if I go to messages. Okay. So you can read the overview. What it says is messages are unit of communication in chat models. They are used to represent the input and output of a chat model. Okay. And what is inside in the message? We have role and you have the content. Okay. So we have roles like system, user, assistant. These three we have seen, right? And then we have the system message, human message, AI message. Okay. Let me see if there is some code, LangChain messages. Okay. So what we will do is we will copy this code from here, go back to our notebook. So first of all, we need to import this human message. The same library has AI message. and then system message. Okay. So instead of doing this, what I can do is, so earlier I gave one string, right? So now I'm showing you another way where we can actually pass the messages, the list of messages, conversational messages. Okay. System message, you are an helpful assistant, and human message, content is equal to what is capital of India. Okay. So if I execute this, what now I can do is I can basically, where is my model? I will use model underscore Groq dot invoke message. Okay. So if I do that, what, so now, I mean, you can see the difference, right? Earlier I was just passing this particular string. Now what I am doing is I am actually passing the messages, the group of messages like system message, human message, okay? And then the response, the AI message is the response content. The capital of India is New Delhi, and rest of the metadata. Okay, so this is another way to send your prompts to the large language model, which is a better way basically, because we have moved from text based APIs to the message based APIs. So we should be sending our prompt in the form of messages, the list of messages.
Why we send system message, Surendra? If I don't send system message, so what will happen?
Nothing will happen. I mean, this is, as I talked about in the last session, right? So if you want to
Mm,
set the personality of your large language model, let's say
okay.
you are an helpful assistant, and let's say I say you are an helpful assistant, but you always you are always
Sarcastic something. Yeah.
sarcastic or something, you know? So the
Yeah.
response will change, right? Because my personality has been changed.
Mm,
The personality of your model has been changed. Okay. Wow, I'm so impressed that you
okay.
managed to come up with such a challenging question. So now see this, I mean the sarcasm, right? So what we usually do is whenever we build any application, we actually set this system message in such a way that our we try to control the behavior of the large language model.
Okay.
So what
Yeah.
I can do is I can also put always say thanks in the end. Okay.
Yeah.
So if there is a user who is interacting with, so it will always say anyway the capital of India is thanks. Okay.
Okay.
And so we I mean we will see this in the upcoming I mean sessions, how we can use this system message in order to control the behavior of our large language model and to control the responses which are being generated. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we can do is we can actually send here, list of messages, not just two, but if you want to send the entire conversation, you can, create on, you can just append lot of messages, like you can say AI message. Okay. What is capital of India? Let's say I say my name is Surendra. It will say that's great. Now, if I ask as a human message, what is my name? It will basically answer me, right? Because we are sending the entire communication. Okay. For what is an LLM is? LLM is just an input output machine. You give some input of in the terms of text, and it will give you some output. So it does not have its own memory. So every time when we are creating these applications which are memory based or which are conversation based, we need to pass the entire conversation to the large language model so that it can understand what you talked about or chat about in the your previous messages. Okay, so if I run this one, and if I run this one, it will tell me what is, I'm shocked, I forgot already. Your name is Surendra. Thanks. Okay.
Surendra, here
Yeah,
The
got it.
the AI message is the response that we get from the model, right? Maybe like what is the significance of setting the AI message in the message itself on the above?
No, see, the first time, let's say the first time I send this message, my name is Surendra.
Mhm.
This time I'm setting it myself, but what I need to do in actual applications, I whatever AI response which I will get, na, that I will append here actually.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so that our LLM will come to know what it has responded earlier, so that it can
Oh,
continue the conversation, right?
okay. The complete conversation history to maintain it.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Okay, we will see all those
Surendra,
things.
one more question I have.
Mhm.
It can scroll up there. Yeah. इसमें if you go a little bit up, that model name, right?
Mhm.
GPT-4 wo is not coming for me. So if I want to search which is the models which we have,
Mhm.
then we have to go to
You have to go to your official documentation of OpenAI.
uh-huh. उसमें
To docs, go to models, and then you have all these models.
dogs or GPT-4. Okay.
These are the model names.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. So it has to go to platform open docs. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So
Surendra, just one doubt. When I'm running this code like os.environment get pass dot get pass,
mhm.
it is taking a lot of time. I mean, it's still not at run. Yeah, this is the same code which I'm running. It's just revolving, and it is not. It didn't run for me yet.
I think it will be prompting you with the text box right here. Right. So it
Yes,
is waiting for you to paste the keys,
I did that already, but
and then you have
after
to
that,
click enter. You have to click enter.
okay, 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 I will do that.
Yeah. Okay. So we have covered the chat models and messages also, how to send the messages. Okay, instead of single string, we can also send the messages. Next one is the output parsers. Okay, the significance of. So again, what I need to do is I need to import the library. So what happens is when we deal with the chains and the multiple components, the output of one component is passed as an input to the next component. Okay, so we have to be very careful what is the format of that. Let's say the second component is expecting JSON as an input, but if you don't pass the JSON, what will happen? It will fail. Okay, so in order to keep that consistency of the format, what we need to do is we should be using the output parsers. Again, I will go to the LangChain documentation and we'll go to conceptual guide and then I will go to output parsers. Okay, so output parser is responsible for taking the output of a model and transforming it to a more suitable format for downstream tasks, useful when you are using LLMs to generate structured data or to normalize the output of a chat model. Okay, and again, if you scroll down, these output parsers are of different type. Maybe at one point of time you are looking for string as an output, and maybe other time you need some JSON format output, and maybe XML format or maybe CSV format. So there is a table actually which will tell you which parser you need to use. Okay. Okay. So based on your requirement, you can come here and then you can see which parser you have to use for your purpose. Is that clear? What is the intention of using output parsers? Output parsers make sure the output is in a desired format, because you never know what your large language model is going to give you as an output. That if you want that output to be passed to the other component, let's say in the XML format, then what I will do is I will use my XML output parser and I will input the output of my model to my output parser, and then that output parser will help me to format the output in the desired format. Okay, so in this one, so what we need to do is, again, this is coming from my which library? Core library, isn't it? Core output parsers. Okay. Structured output parsers, but output parsers, I want string output parsers. str string output parser. Okay. If I run this, working. Now I will instantiate output parser. Okay. So this is my output parser. So earlier, what I was getting, this Groq response. So I will take the output in one response object. Okay. So now the output of my model is in the response object. Now, if I want to convert that response into the string format, I will use string output parser. So string output parsers dot invoke. Okay, invoke what? The response. Okay, if I run that, oh wow, I'm surprised you forgot already. Your name is Surendra. Thanks. Okay, I hope you got the idea.
Yes, Surendra.
All right. So this is actually useful, sometimes when the output from a particular component is again an object of the LangChain. Okay, converting an output to a string is, I mean, simple, but let's say the output was some LangChain object. So now you cannot use any other library, right, to convert the output or the LangChain object into some other format. So you have to use the LangChain output parsers so that you can convert that object into the desired format. Okay. So we are done with output parser. The next concept, which is very important, is runnable interface. Okay. So again, I will go to my documentation, conceptual guide. I will go to runnable interface. So runnable interface क्या होता है कि this basically, so these components are actually implement a protocol which is called runnable protocol, which makes sure that they expose similar kind of methods. For example, we have methods like invoke, we have methods like stream. Okay, so we want to make sure that whenever there is a component, then it should be, I mean, all the components should be using the same methods. Okay, then it becomes very convenient. Okay, so Runnable interface is the foundation of working with the LangChain components and its implementation across many of them, such as language models, output parsers, retrievers, compiled LangGraph graphs. Okay. Overview of Runnable interface, invoked, bashed, stream. So these are those methods actually which we can use with any of the components who implement Runnable interface. For example, unknowingly you have already used the Runnable interface. If you see that always we are doing model underscore OpenAI dot invoke. So what is this invoke? This is an common method which is there in all the components who are runnable, who have implemented runnable interface. Okay, so they have designed their APIs in such a way that there are common methods across all the objects. So we did model.invoke in order to invoke our LLM. Then we also did what? We did output parser.invoke, right? So that means this method, this component is also a runnable component. Okay, and we can use invoke and we can use stream and whatever methods which are there, they can be used consistently across all these objects. Which objects? All these objects. So there is a nice table. you can see the component. If you are using a prompt, that is a runnable. Chat model is a runnable. Output parser, retriever, and tool. All these components, if you are using, they basically implement this protocol. Okay, and you can use methods like invoke, stream, and there is one more method which is batch. Okay, these three are basically the main methods which we will use again and again. The first one is the invoke, meaning if you want to, a single input is transformed into an output. Batch, if you want to make multiple inferences, what you can do is you can create a batch of it and then you can send your request. If you want your output to be streamed, so this is again important. So the way large language models work is like they create tokens one by one, isn't it? So we have seen the transformer architecture, and in that architecture, we have seen that one token is passed and our model is going to predict the next token. The next token is again passed into our decoder, and then it will again guess or predict the next token. So the output is generated basically token by token. Okay, or in simple words, word by word, right? So if my response from the LLM is too big, right? Maybe some 200 words or 500 words. I have, given some task to the LLM that you should write an essay on Taj Mahal. So it will generate some, 200 lines or 300 lines answer. So do we want our users to wait that long, that the completion should be over and then the output should be passed in one go to the user? No, right? So in that case, what we have to use? We have to use the stream method, which will help us to get uh, the output in the streamed manner. As soon as it is being generated at the LLM, it will be passed to the application. Just like in the chat GPT also, right? So when you ask anything, it start typing the answer, right? That is actually streaming. If you don't stream, what will happen? You will see a wait sign, and once the completion is done, entire answers will be given to the chat GPT, and then you will see everything in one shot. Is it clear what is streaming?
Yes.
Okay. So these are the three main methods which are basically used by these runnables. ठीक है? And
सुरेंद्र,
हाँ जी.
एक डाउट है,
Mhm.
इसमें स्ट्रीम ओनली फॉर टेक्स्ट और इज इट फॉर इवन images or
So
video?
how the streaming will help in image? I'm not sure. इमेज तो एक साथ ही बन के आती है, राइट? हाउ इट कैन जनरेट लाइक टक 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 टक.
नहीं, मैं जस्ट फॉर
नहीं नहीं.
क्यूरियोसिटी आई वाज आस्किंग.
हाँ नहीं, आई मीन इवन आई डोंट नो वेदर इट इज बीइंग डन फॉर इमेज आल्सो, बट आई एम जस्ट थिंकिंग how it will look like if
The reason why I'm asking is
Mhm.
in data engineering there is one tool called Kafka which
Kafka
will
Kafka
तो
streaming.
वो क्या करेगा, वो स्ट्रीम करेगा, वो कंटिन्यूअसली फीड करेगा डेटा को.
Mhm.
ऐसा डेटा को मतलब इट कैन बी वीडियो, इट कैन बी डेटा, इट कैन बी
Mhm.
anything. So
Right.
that's the reason I wanted to check whether that's the
Mhm.
same concept they are using or is it
Yeah,
different.
I think the concept is same, right? Kafka streaming में भी ऐसा ही होता है कि if you are telecasting some video or you are publishing some video, then उसके जो भी content है it start streaming on the real time.
तो
ठीक है?
इसमें भी ऐसा ही हो सकता है, but I'm also not sure. So
Mhm. Yes. I mean, for that we need to see the multimodal models, how they generate the output.
okay,
ठीक है?
ठीक है.
Surinder, can just scroll down once here.
Mhm.
The table where we have the list of the components, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so here the chart model and LLM. So the chart model is not part of the LLM. It's they both are same or different.
So, whatever we have used was actually the chat model. LLM chat model is the implementation of LLM only. A string, a list of chat messages or prompt value. So this I'm also not sure. I was also, confused actually,
Yeah.
but then I didn't dig deeper into it. But usually what we do is the chat model. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe this is again the older way, right, which we talked about. The
Where
text
the output
based,
is only the string is, yeah.
because you can see the output is string.
Correct,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
So this is
That would
kind
be
of
correct.
deprecated, I think. Okay. So now again, if you are using these components, then what is the input and what is the expected output? This is also given in the table, and we will make use of this table actually. Okay. All right. So runnables is done. What is next is prompt template. Okay. So I will go back to the where is prompt templates? Prompt templates. Okay, so prompt templates helps to translate the user input and parameters into instructions for a language model. This can be used to guide model's response, helping it understand the context and generate relevant and coherent language-based output. Okay, see, these prompt templates are again of two types. Okay, we will create these templates in just few seconds. So these templates are actually used to pass our prompt. Okay, so they are again of two types. One is the string prompt templates and other is the chat prompt template. And by now you you I mean, this must have came into your mind that we will emphasize more on chat prompt template because of the uh, conversational point of view. Okay, so in the string prompt templates we actually pass the string, and again in the chat prompt template we basically pass the list of messages. Okay, this is, I mean, you may feel that this is again adding a layer of complexity, but once you start using them then you will be able to appreciate. Okay, so what I will do is I will just copy paste this code. This is for a string prompt template where the string is taken as an input. Okay, we are gradually going towards creating enterprise level application. Okay, so this is for a string prompt template. So again, this is coming from the core package underscore core dot prompt template. And here you can see when I create the prompt template, what I'm doing is prompt template dot from template. Okay, prompt template is the method I'm using, and then I'm giving it string as a input. So this input is actually a bit special. Can you tell me what is unique, or how it is different from the earlier version which we used here, right? We were
There is
passing.
a variable in this. We can
Exactly, right? So what we can do is by using prompt templates, once we define a prompt template, we can actually use it again and again. What all we need to do is we need to just pass the topic or the variable which is declared. So this is similar to the f string in the Python. Okay, within the string, what we are doing, we are just creating one variable, and this variable we can actually, the value for this variable we can pass when we are invoking this particular prompt template. Okay, so what I will do, prompt template dot invoke. Again, why invoke? Because this is also runnable. They have made our life very easy, right? We can use invoke. Prompt template dot invoke. Now when I'm invoking, what I need to do is I need to pass the value. So I have created this dictionary. So now you realize the importance of our uh, previous session where we talked a little bit about the Python. We talked about dictionary object also, right? So we are using the same object. This is the key and this is the value. Okay, now if I pass, what will happen is at the time of invoking, I'm giving the cats, tell me a joke about cat. So this is what this has been converted to text equal to tell me a joke about cats. Okay, so this is again has become the text just like the earlier one, but now we can pass the values dynamically. And if you do something like, if you want to check the prompt template, you can actually print that also. So what is the prompt template? It says input variable is topic. Okay, and then when we do prompt template dot invoke, we are passing this input variable, the value as cat. If I do it like dog, then it will tell me a joke about the dog. But right now we have just created the prompt template, but how to invoke it again? Like this. Okay, model dot invoke prompt template dot invoke. ठीक है, बहुत शांति रहती है इस बैच में मुझे. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Surendra.
Here, like
Chantika.
variable and types. See the prompt template, line number 24. In that, like one is input various topic and input types. What is
Input types. Input types. I mean, input type is, I mean, maybe you are telling that it is expecting dictionary like this. Not sure. I mean, maybe we can define what type of object it should be, right? These variables. Right now we are just using strings, and you have to look into the APIs basically. Okay, so this was from template. Fair enough.
And we invoked this through Groq model, right? This
Right,
prompt
right,
template.
right,
We given this input
right.
to
So
model Groq.
what we can do is actually we can so this is one way. Actually, what we will do is we will use chains basically to join these prompt templates with the model and then output parsers. Okay,
Yes, yes.
okay, that will make it more clear. Right now, you can actually ignore this line. Okay, you can just see how we can declare the prompt templates. Okay, and then you can pass these values dynamically. Okay, now we will see what is chat prompt template. Okay, again, we'll go back to the documentation and I can see the chat prompt template. I can use this code. Again, it is coming from core, LangChain core prompts import chat prompt template. And then the prompt template, chat prompt template, and then I am passing the tuple basically. This is a tuple. Okay, system dot you are a helpful assistant. User, tell me a joke about this topic. Okay, same thing, but instead of just passing the string with the variable, I am passing it in a message based format, which is my preferred way, right? Because I have to keep the conversation history. I need to pass the entire conversation. So this is more helpful, right? So I can use system, you are a helpful assistant, and the user as tell me a joke about this topic. Again, what I can do, I can, while invoking this prompt template, I can pass the value dynamically. Okay. If I print just this one, I will see input variables as topic. ठीक है, अभी जो हम next देखेंगे, that will actually help you to clear your doubts, how all these things put together create the chain.
Okay, Surendra.
Okay. String prompt template हो गया. What is next is chat prompt template हो गया. Chains. ठीक है. Directly we will talk about chains. Let me go back to my deck actually. Is it shared, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes, visible.
this everything we have seen, right? What is runnable interface? What components are implement runnables, chat models? What is the conclusion? The runnable interface is the key concept. And then this we have already seen that, what if you have different components with the help of runnables, what they are making sure if I'm using model, I can use the same methods, model.invoke, model.stream, model.batch. Similarly, prompt template.invoke, blah, blah, blah. Now, the main concept is a chain, the LangChain. The name itself has a chain, right? So this is a main concept, and the one of the most important thing in the LangChain is how to build these chains, how to stitch these components together. So you can see here what we are using is okay. In the chain, we basically integrate the different components. For example, the prompt, okay, the model and the parser and the what is the syntax? Syntax is using LCL, LangChain expression language. So this is expression language. And what does it mean is my chain is consist of three components: the prompt, the model, and the parser. And these components can be 10. They can be dozens of components. Okay. Then the prompt. So whenever I'm invoking, again, chain is runnable. Just like model, prompt template, and output parts are runnables, my chain is also runnable. There also, once I create or build my chain, I can use the methods like chain.invoke, chain.stream, and chain.batch. Okay. And what does this syntax means? It means I need to give some input to the prompt, and then the output of the prompt will be given as an input to my model, and the output of my model will be given as an input to the parser. Okay, this is the meaning of this particular syntax. Okay, and most importantly, what is input to my chain? Input to my chain is the input of my first component. And what is input of my first component? Can someone tell me what is input of my prompt or prompt template?
Key value.
Key values, right? The dictionary object. So since prompt is my first component, when I will invoke my chain, I will pass the input as a dictionary, and then the output which will come out from the prompt will be passed to the model, and from model it will be passed to the parser. Everything will be done automatically behind the scenes. This is the beauty of this particular chain. Okay, करें इसको?
Yes.
Yes, Surendra. Let's
Chains. So what we need three things: prompt template, second is my model, and third is my output parts. These are three components which I will build. In fact, I have all these things already there, right? So nothing is required to be imported. I can do is chain equal to what is my prompt template. Which prompt template I should choose? I can choose this one. Okay, this is my prompt template. This I will pass to the model Groq and then the output parsers. Let me run this. Working. So response is equal to chain dot invoke. And what is my input? Input is my chain, my dictionary object, which is input for prompt template. Topic is equal to cats. Okay, if I run this one and if I print my response, why did the cat join a band? Because it wanted to be poor questionnaire. पता नहीं क्या लिखा हुआ है.
परक्वेशनिस्ट
ये क्या होता है?
वो एक मतलब जो बजाते हैं ना कुछ इंस्ट्रूमेंट परक्यूशन.
अच्छा
So I
ठीक है.
joined them. I joined because it joined to per. So
Okay. ठीक है.
bad joke actually.
Hmm. So now you understand what is chain. So when I print my response, I can see the formatted response, right? Because I used my output parser. So I can see just the text response, and then everything was done behind the scene, right? So the only thing I need to do is chain dot invoke, and I need to pass the values of my uh, prompt template. Okay. And if you're confused how the things work, you can, we saw in the runnables, right? Where is runnable? I said that we will be coming back to this table, right? So if I go to runnable interface, this is that table. So what is my first component is prompt template. Okay. What is the input to the prompt template is a dictionary. So what we pass to the chain, a dictionary. Super. What is the output? It's prompt value. Okay. What is my second component? Model Groq. So the output of this should match the input of model Groq, isn't it? Then only it will accept. So I can check. My output for the first component is prompt value. And in the chat model, I can see I can pass a string or a list of chat messages or a prompt value. So it is matching. Output of first component is equal to the input of second component. Super. What is output of my second component? Chat message. Okay. What is my third component? Output parser. So what is the input of output parser? The output of a LLM or chat model. Chat message. Output of chat model is what? Output of LLM or chat model. Chat message only, right? So we can pass this output as an input. And then what is the output of my parser? It depends on what parser I'm using. If I'm using a string output parser, I will get a string. If I'm using XML or JSON, that depends on the parser. Does that make sense?
So one question I have.
Mm-hmm.
So the prompt template model got output parser. If the output is matching, then it will pass. It doesn't matter. Like we have some other variables also, it will work, right?
I'm just showing you I could create the chain only because if I do something like if I take output parser and I put it here, is it going to work?
नहीं
So
होगा मतलब.
वो नहीं होगा, right?
हाँ वो नहीं होगा मतलब मेरा क्वेश्चन क्या है,
Mm-hmm.
अगर वो मैच करेगा फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू गो टू दैट क्या
Mm-hmm.
LangChain, हाँ इसमें फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई वांट टू a string list or for example chat model, I can
Mm-hmm.
pass a string, that is the
Yes.
input. So I
Mm-hmm.
can retriever, I can put there retriever chat
Mm-hmm.
model, and again मैसेज कहाँ आता है वहां डाल सकते हैं, ऐसे
Mm-hmm.
डाल सकते हैं ना.
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल डाल सकते हैं.
हाँ
इनफैक्ट
तो अब
रिट्रीवर का काम ही यही होता है. व्हेन वी विल स्टडी अबाउट रैग, सो वी विल हैव अ रिट्रीवर जो वेक्टर डेटाबेस में जाएगा. इट विल पुल सम डॉक्यूमेंट्स. ओके, सो दैट विल बी लिस्ट ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट्स. ये देखो यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है,
हाँ
राइट?
हाँ
सो दोज
ओके
लिस्ट ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट्स विल बी देयर, एंड देन दैट कैन बी पास टू द लार्ज लैंग्वेज मॉडल. ठीक है,
ओके ओके.
दैट वी विल सी. Anyone else has any questions?
So every time you run the same model, it will give you the same output, or it can also vary.
It can vary sometime, that depends on my temperature, right? Sometime if I want creative answers and if my temperature is around 1, then it will give some different answers also, right?
Yeah,
So
because the
let's try that.
joke on cat can be anything else also, not just related to bend. So
So this is what you are saying.
no, no, like the joke on cats can be also something else, right? Not
Ah,
just
right.
related to bend.
Correct. So that's what I'm saying. Whenever I am defining my model now, what I can do is, where is my model? This one, right? Groq we are using. So here I can actually pass the temperature also. What is the right syntax? Temperature. Okay. Now if I try, this is my Groq model. I think the only thing I need to rerun is my chain and the response. Okay, print the response. So this is why the dog go to the vet, because he was feeling a little rough. Let me rerun this invoke. Let's see if it changes. Not changing. It should change actually. Somehow this is not changing. ठीक है. Is it taking from 0 to 2? पता नहीं, चेंज नहीं हो रहा है. Ideally it should change basically. ठीक है. You can try with OpenAI model. Okay.
मॉडल ग्राफ चेंज करना पड़ेगा ना.
Oh. चेंज हुआ क्या? नहीं हुआ. Sure. What this one? Why did the dog? हाँ, ये change हो रहा है, right? Did you see?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, it has a change. So, Surendra, just one question. Like, usually, if we give any wrong sentences in English, right? Grammatical mistakes. So, how does it will give the correct response? For that, like, which models we need to use?
I mean, see, it depends on the model itself. So usually OpenAI models are the best ones. They are trained in such a way that even if you do some spelling mistake, in that case also it is able to, I mean, predict or I mean, predict the right token. Right? Just like human beings, right? We are also trained in the similar fashion, right? Whatever we learned in our childhood. If someone is speaking something wrong, but still we are able to make out, right, what he is trying to say, isn't it? That can be
Yeah.
grammatical mistake, or maybe the pronunciation is different, but still we are able to guess what he's trying to say, the next probable word. It's all about the probability. So if it is certain that, maybe he was trying to say, it basically guesses that, right?
Uh,
I mean, does that answer?
uh, but just I want to do that sample. script. So for that, right, which models we need to use? Just I want to do the practice. So can you give any suggestions?
So you can use this GPT-4o. This is the best one. Okay,
Okay.
GPT-4o or 4o mini. So you can, you can also check the cost, how much it cost. I think mini is the cost efficient. So you should use 4o mini. It is a
Okay.
good model with the lowest cost. Okay, so if you are using some, some model which is not, proficient or not trained well, then your responses will also be, then it may not be able to guess what you are saying. Its
Yeah.
answer
So
will, deteriorate if you don't write the spellings correct.
Pronounce, I mean, like the spelling,
Yeah.
context-wise, it will take.
Hmm.
Because sometimes normally what is happening when we are typing in WhatsApp and all, immediately correction will happen, right?
Mhm.
For
So if
example, yeah,
so if we use, maybe if you try some older models or some smaller models, then they may not be able to understand your wrong spelling sometimes. So you can try these things, you know. You can try something which is smaller and older. 70B Llama 3.2 is latest, so it should be working. So some older, smaller. I mean, if you want to try to use those Flynt T5 and all, right? So they will not be able to understand. Since now these days they are trained so much that they are able to, predict, or they are able to guess what you are actually trying to say, right?
yes, Surinder. And one more thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the response we are getting, right, it is like formatted text, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can you help me in one example with JSON format response?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what you can do is you can simply use your chat GPT, or maybe official documentation also, right? If you go there, you can see some examples like output parsers.
hey.
Super. Hmm. Okay, this has taken me to the API. Usually they also give some codes also, right? Some code samples are also there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can try those actually. I don't have anything which is ready.
Okay, no problem. I will try it out.
Because if you're using JSON or XML, then you also need to tell him, right, in what format or what is schema, what all, if you are trying to
The
make an
format
XML.
has to be
Right,
defined,
right.
I think.
That schema should also be given. I have not tried actually, but you should be telling, right, what are the different XML nodes you are looking for, so that it can take string as an input and it will try to convert that string into the desired XML format based on the nodes and the values, right? So I think some schemas needs to be given. There was one more LangChain search, actually LangChain search, which actually takes you to So there was a page actually where there you can actually write your query in the natural language, and then it will take you to the corresponding documentation also. ठीक है, इसका देखते हैं इसने क्या किया है. So JSON output parser, see they are using some schema, right? Prompt template, JSON output parser, chat OpenAI, define the desired output format, decide the structure of JSON output you expect. For instance, if you are building a tool to extract user information, define the fields in the JSON structure. Create a prompt with the parsing specification. So you are creating a template, name, age, email. Okay. This is your template. You're an helpful assistant providing the output in the JSON format. Ensure all are correctly populated. Okay. So this is the significance of, writing those system prompts and the text in the template. Okay. Then we will do prompt template. Template is taken from this template, and then input variable is the question. Okay. Initialize the JSON output parser. Okay. Combine the components and generate the output. So chat OpenAI, model name, temperature 0, input question is this one, final prompt dot format prompt. Question is input question. Response, whatever response I am getting, I am passing it to the output parser dot parse response. Handled parse response, print parse output. Okay. So you will get the output. So you can try this example.
Yeah, I will try it out. Yeah.
Mhm.
So any format, right? We will have the examples, right? So that,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Whatever formats, CSV, XML, whatever are supported, you will
Mhm.
have some examples.
So even this format, whatever the output we will get it, right? So
Mhm.
those things can be parsed to any spreadsheet or notepad, any file, right, as an output. So whatever the things which come as an result, right? So
Mhm.
usually, like if we want to
Yeah,
place
I
it in
mean,
any text file.
yeah, I mean, you can do anything, right? I mean, this is just like an application, right? So whatever you wanted to get from large language model, you have received, and now you are changing its format, and now you can save it to your disk, or you can pass it to some other function, whatever you want to do. I mean, you can do it. Okay, that is
Yeah.
up to you. So
Okay. So,
in the future lessons, what we will learn that when we are building these chains, so you can see, right? So this is pretty restricted. So we are just using the out of the box components. But what if I want to include one custom function, right? I want to call some external API. I have created some function in the Python, and I want to use that function inside my chain. How, and that function is expecting maybe JSON, as you said, right? The input format is JSON or XML. Then what I will do is I will get response from model from OpenAI, and then I will format. I will use some output parser. Once I receive this JSON, maybe I will pass that JSON file or that JSON object to my custom function, which is expecting a JSON, right? That we will see in the next session, how we can put our custom functions inside the chain. That is called function calling. Okay. I hope it answered your question.
yes, Surinder.
Yeah,
I got your answer. So, yeah, I will wait for the future session. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And meanwhile, I mean, you can try, right? You can experiment with these examples which are in the chat GPT, or maybe you will find something in this one also.
Yeah. So I can use this open source one Grok, right? So
Yes,
instead
yes,
of
yes, 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 yes.
okay, let me try that. And if I stuck
Mhm.
somewhere else, I will come back to you in this doubt session.
Definitely. Okay, anyone else has anything? I have given that particular assignment, right? On Slack. So you should try that one also. Okay. I think some of you have already done, and those who were waiting for the live session, now they can do that particular thing. Okay. I think we finished early today.
Surendra, can you just cover that the message placeholder once? I just have
Oh,
confusion
message.
between.
I think I missed that, right? So let's go to the conceptual guide. So we had, so message placeholder is nothing but a way to, stack your messages in one particular variable. Okay, that helps you to build the memory. यहाँ देखिए search. ठीक है? The prompt template is responsible for adding a list of messages in a particular place. In above chat prompt template, we saw how we could format two messages, each one as a string. But what if we wanted the user to pass in a list of messages that we would slot in a particular spot? This is how uh, this is how you use message placeholder. So what we are doing is actually when we are building our prompt template with the help of chat prompt template, that say I can put one message placeholder, which is a message. Okay, and this key actually this is a key, right? So this key, while invoking this prompt template, I can pass the whatever messages, whatever the past messages I had, right? Whatever conversation I had with the large language model, I can take those messages and then I can set it to the message. And this message placeholder helps to place all those messages in one go into your prompt template. Okay. If this is not making sense for you, just wait. In the next session, we are going to deal with how to create a memory. Okay. There we will use this message placeholder. Okay, देखो, see what is happening is we have sent the first message and we received the response. We send the second message, we receive the response. Now we can take some variable and we can store all those messages, and then on this prompt template with this key we can pass that list of messages and it will get replaced in this prompt template. If we have 10 messages here, those 10 will be replaced in the prompt template, because this prompt template is going to your large language model, right? So
So
that
it means that the message placeholder we can include both the human message and the AI
yes,
message,
yes,
the
yes, yes,
response.
yes, yes, yes,
Oh,
yes, the
okay, okay.
entire maybe 5 messages, 10 messages, whatever we have. So what we have to do is we have to keep on appending the messages, whatever.
Ah,
First message is the human message. The second we have received is AI message. So what we will do, we will append that message. Then again a question, then again a response. Then we will keep on appending. And finally, this message placeholder helps you to, place all those messages in just a single sentence.
okay, okay.
Like a history,
Yeah, it's a history. So you can say
chart history.
message placeholder. You can also name it as a history. Message की जगह history कर दो, and then while invoking, you should pass that particular object, है ना? History equal to the messages. ठीक है? This we will use in the next session also, where we will try to build the memory for our uh, application. ठीक है?
Can you download this collab one and upload in the stack?
हाँ, yeah, I will give you one well formatted.
Okay. So based on this, we'll try.
Yeah, definitely. ठीक है? Any other question or any other doubt from any of the sessions we had in the past?
In Collab, how to get this message? Is there any key that you have to press?
This one?
नहीं वो अभी आया था ना पॉपअप जैसे वो जो भी आपका रहता है. For example, if you click on invoke or outside parser, you'll get a messaging box, right? Where you'll have all the options.
ये मैं समझा नहीं, sorry.
नहीं, if you click on some command, for example, if you go up and go to prompt template, if you click on that,
This one?
invoke, ऊपर वाला invoke है ना?
ये वाला?
Invoke, you got this ना? How you are getting?
नहीं तो अपने आप ही आ रहा है, because I am using this library, right? Prompt template dot invoke.
नहीं मेरे को नहीं आया इसीलिए बस.
अच्छा, I mean maybe you can go to run tools and then there is a setting, है ना? यहाँ पर you need to do certain things like
Yeah.
editor में आप क्या चाह रहे हो, automatic trigger code completion,
हाँ, okay.
close brackets and all those things.
ठीक है गॉट इट शायद उसी का कंसेंट ओके ओके got it. मेरे को नहीं आ रहा था, मैं सोचा कि
अच्छा
क्या
अच्छा,
है,
ठीक
कुछ
है
कोई
ठीक।
की प्रेस किया तो ऐसा हो गया।
नहीं नहीं, वो केवल माउस ओवर से आ जाता है। ठीक है, कैन वी रैप अप टुडे? I
So
will be posting this collab file also in the Slack.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm about to ask that question, so you answer. Yeah, that's
Yes,
it.
yes. Also,
Yeah.
there is one assignment which is given in the Slack. Try to complete that assignment also. Okay. Once you are done, just paste one screenshot of your
Sure,
code.
sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Surendra, out of this box, in the collapse, we are seeing we can write our code or generate with AI. So generate with AI means we
Means,
can give some inputs and then get the code from the AI.
I mean, I could see, right? It is giving me some like.
No, if you click now in the generate.
Mhm. So it is whatever hints you are getting, right? So this is basically generating it from AI, right? So this is also using some copilot. Okay, so that
Okay.
copilot is trained on a lot of code which is there in the GitHub. So whatever code which is already people have put in the GitHub, on behalf of that, on or on the training, this LLM has, this Gemini had, right? This is Gemini.
Gemini, yes.
So Gemini is actually based on whatever we have written so far. So it is trying to predict what I am trying to write.
Okay.
It is trying to do that auto completion or auto complete based
Now,
on.
in many of the organizations, they started using co-pilots
Correct, right.
for code efficiencies.
Yes, yes.
They're forcing employees to use that
Yeah,
to train to train
yeah. I
that
mean,
models.
if you
Yes,
have that
yes.
particular tool,
In my company, definitely they're checking whether you're using or not.
that's good. You have to go with the technology hand to hand, right? You have to learn all those. All
ठीक है,
right.
yeah, thanks
All
Surendra.
good, guys.
हाँ हाँ
टाइमिंग इज
आप
फाइन ना,
आप शेयर
संडे वाला
करोगे क्या
टाइमिंग?
वो कोड को,
हाँ, वो
उस
मैं
कोड
भी
को शेयर?
जस्ट शेयर कर देता हूँ 2 मिनट में, ठीक है?
हाँ ठीक है नहीं तो स्लैक में डाल सकते हैं ना ऐसा, अगर
हाँ, वो
नोबडी
स्लैक में मैं वो डाल देता हूँ, लिंक डाल देता हूँ।
ओके
उस लिंक को आप एक्सेस करोगे तो यू विल गेट द एंटायर फाइल।
हाँ ओके
सुरेंद्र, डाउट सेशन फिर सैटरडे को होगा क्या, अगर कुछ
सैटरडे
डाउट हुआ?
को, हाँ सैटरडे को कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? सैटरडे को वी कैन हैव डाउट सेशन इफ यू वांट, वी कैन हैव फ्रॉम इन द मॉर्निंग 11 to 12 इज फाइन,
यस,
ठीक है?
So on all the session exercises, what you are saying in the lab exercise and all, it is uploaded in the Slack, right? So that we can try once and
यस यस, यू विल हैव एवरीथिंग एट वन प्लेस ना, अदरवाइज चैट में क्या होता है कि व्हाट्सएप पे गुम हो जाता है,
हाँ वही,
स्क्रॉल डाउन
इसीलिए
कॉपी पेस्ट में मुश्किल, तो
समझ गया। So in Slack everything will be there so that we can go
यस
on.
यस यस।
Yeah, thanks. और सुरेंद्र, वो वीडियो एक्सेस नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, आप उसका
हाँ,
एक्सेस।
मेरे को एक बार अपनी जीमेल आईडी फिर से भेज दो,
हाँ
मैं चेक कर लेता हूँ।
हाँ ठीक है, आई विल सेंड इट टू यू इन द व्हाट्सएप।
सेकंड सेशन राइट, द सेकंड सेशन यू आर सेइंग?
हाँ, कोई भी एक्सेस नहीं हुआ।
अच्छा, कोई भी नहीं, ठीक है ठीक।
I was trying to see
तो
but it
मैंने,
is
हाँ मे बी मैंने ऐड नहीं
restricted
किया
access.
होगा, आई विल डू दैट, ठीक है?
Okay, thank you.
Surinder, can you see my access because I'm not able to open Slack?
Okay, I think that invitation link, right? So that remains active only for the 14 days. Okay.
Okay.
I will recreate that invite and will share with you. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Chalo, thanks. You missed the earlier sessions, I suppose, right, Srivalli?
Yes, Surinder.
Were you able to go to the recordings? Were you able to?
Yes. Recordings I'm able to open. Only Slack. This one, I think link has expired. I think so. We are getting this error. Right?
ठीक है. Try to catch up. Okay.
Okay.
Chalo. All right then. If you don't have any further questions, maybe you can enjoy the rest of your weekend, and me too.
Have a great weekend.
Happy weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.